Oh, the luck of the Irish.
It's St. Patty's.
Hey, hey, hey.
Let's crack these motherfuckers open.
In the spirit of St. Patrick's Day, pop open a brewski
True.
if you're of age.
Of course. And if you're not, grab a tea.
Pop open a mocktail,
Grab a Gatorade. A Capri Sun.
but make sure it's green. Hey, everybody.
Food guy.
Welcome to this Supernaturals St. Patrick's Day special. We are 1 month away from season 2, everybody. Holy shiznit.
It's coming up so fast.
I don't know why I said shiznit. That, remember Grown Ups? Chicken shiznit. What the hell does he say?
I don't even remember.
We forgot to get our beads.
I have my beads on.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, you're putting both on?
Hell yeah.
Oh, dude, I was going to leave one up for some aesthetic.
That did not work.
Now it's going to look weird because
Oh, damn, it's under the cord, huh? All right, well, blooper reel. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, it's part of the episode. It's part of the experience. We just get to watch you struggle.
Oh, my God.
This is quite entertaining. For our audio listeners, you really need to watch the video because this is quite amusing.
No, that just showed how much of a dumbass I am. Just pretend I'm wearing these beads.
Or just take your headphones
All
off real
right.
quick.
I can't. Wow, hearing myself
Without the headphones?
without the headphones is crazy. Anyway,
it's just
we
like
have
listening to yourself normally, though.
yeah, but in this setting,
You know, a lot of people podcast without headphones.
yeah, that's insane to me. Get ready with me, Supernaturals edition.
Lay down, buddy.
Anyway,
We got our dogs in the studio again.
yeah, there's 2 dogs in here this time.
They cloned.
We got Soul, the OG Supernaturals pup, and then we got Luna, his sister, today because Jake's dumbass is going on a cruise and I have to watch both of them. So hell yeah.
It's true. By the time this comes out, I already have been on the cruise.
Yeah, he would have been done. But anyway, yeah. So today, well, I mean,
It's St. Patty's.
it's St. Patty's Day.
So what else were we going to talk about other than St. Patrick's Day stuff?
I think we're going to talk about hella Irish shit. That's what I think
Of
we're going to talk
course.
about. And we're going to sip on some brewskis.
Yeah, well, no,
But-
we won't be puking.
No, we won't. But I will say, as we do with every one of our specials, we'll have a little bit of fun, and then we're going to get really like depressing at the end. I found, you know, what's actually interesting. When I was doing my research, I found a lot of like St. Patrick's Day crimes,
Mhm.
but they were all crimes that like you would probably come to expect on St. Patrick's Day.
Like battery assaults and stuff like that.
Like people just get too
Fighting
drunk.
and fighting.
They fight,
Yeah.
and then, you know, sometimes it escalates and they just
yeah.
like, you know,
Of course.
shoot each other. But that's
Okay.
I mean, that's just, that is what it is. I don't know. So
Or get stabbed or, you know,
there's not
yeah.
a lot of like, you know, I guess unsolved mysteries, you know, so I did unfortunately find this one and it's a doozy. So we'll dive a little bit into that one. That's our only unsolved mystery in this special.
You know, I
Well,
kind of,
what? Go ahead.
sorry, I kind of find it crazy that there has been no like horror slasher around St. Patty's Day. It's like a place where so many people get together. It'd be like,
Oh, you mean
insane movie slashers?
You mean like in real or like
in a movie? Like
well,
a movie.
they have Leprechaun. That's what we were going to talk about.
Yeah, but you know, I'm talking like
It's holiday horror. So
Michael Myers-esque, like the new Hard Eyes movie. You know, those types of slashers. Leprechaun.
Yeah.
No,
no, you could totally take the Hard Eyes killer and make him
St. Patrick's,
just
right?
put a clover on his head or something.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. The clover-eyed killer.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could do something like that. Yeah, it's true. I'm
The
surprised they didn't.
Shamrock Killer.
Yeah.
There's some movie titles for you.
ShamWow.
Shamwow.
Shamrocked. That sounds more like a comedy about like it's like a guy who, you know, got his world rocked or something. Shamrocked. If you're listening, Hollywood, don't steal these ideas.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, 2
They're
years later,
copyrighted.
and it's like Shamrocked from this studio. I go, you son of a bitch.
sued. Just kidding. We're not trademarking that.
No, we're not. Go
It's a
ahead.
stupid
Take
name.
Shamrock. Just give me like at least a credit in that thing. So, so I do want to talk about what do you usually do on St. Patrick's Day?
Well, the past few years have been
we've
kind
spent
of
it together.
kind of been a roller coaster though. We've gone out.
Yeah.
We've thrown parties.
Yes.
We've gone out.
Uh-huh.
We've had bad times.
Oh yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
But I think
Some
the most
more than others.
yeah. I think the most fun was like the low key settings though, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think
when we threw our party was pretty fun because it was like a little better than a kickback,
yeah.
but it wasn't like our Halloween party.
Remember when I met freaking Maeve Wiley from Sex Education?
Yeah. Wasn't she from?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it was full on like it. She looked identical to freaking. If you guys know who Maeve Wiley is from Sex Education, it's a great show.
I've actually never seen that show.
It's a good show, but you know who I'm talking about though, right?
I do. Yeah.
So, and her name's Emma Mackey, I think, and she's super pretty. And so there was one night. It was the first St. Patrick's Day I actually ever spent with you guys. I came up to the Humboldt house.
Yeah, because we were like, let's go out. We'll leave by 12.
Yeah. Well, that was when I got stuck in the snowdrift at like your parents' house. Because remember, I was going to pick up Josh, and then we were going to drive up to the Humboldt house. And freaking, as we're going up, I get stuck in a snowdrift. It was like, what do they call
drifting,
it? When,
bro.
well, what does it call it when your tires?
High-centered.
Yeah, high centered. Yeah. So that happened to me. And your dad came with his tractor and got us out. But it was so funny because in the middle of us getting my car out, like my car was still there, right?
Someone else gets
this
stuck.
lady comes flying around the corner, drifting and shit. I thought she was gonna hit us, and all of a sudden she gets high centered just a couple feet in front of us, and she gets out of her car, and we're like, yeah, that's what happens. And she like just starts throwing a fit. She like threw something like at her car. She's like, it's like through shit. And I'm like, yeah, what did you expect? Literally, what did you expect? No, but then that night,
lady.
Yeah, we got out and then we go. And that night, we went to that pool bar. It was like a Irish pub and there was the pool bar.
Let me tell you about that bar though.
Yeah.
Their Guinnesses were so good.
Oh, it was a very fun bar. Yeah, it was a really cool, vibey, like...
It was vibey, but it was packed. Like, it was packed of people.
Yeah, it was definitely packed. But, I don't know, we went in there and, there was this girl across the way and she just looked so cool. Like, she did. She literally looked like Maeve Wiley. And then she comes over to me and she's like, hey, you want to be my partner in pool? And I go, hell yeah. But the coolest thing about it was just like Maeve Wiley, she goes, hey, would you like to? She was freaking British, which was so sick.
She was.
And I was like, oh my God, dude, like this is so crazy. And then, we played a round of pool.
Yeah, you were playing pool with her and we were talking to these other group of people in the corner.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then she was done. Like when we finished the game, she walks over and she's like, would you like to bump a cig? Like she was like, basically translation was step outside with me and we'll smoke a cig. And my dumb ass was like, no, I don't smoke cigs. I should have just taken the hit and just like talk to her and stuff outside.
You don't even have to smoke. You can just go out there.
No, I know. And I didn't. My dumb ass sat right inside. And
I don't smoke, but I'll still keep you company.
And then remember what happened?
It.
I realized eventually what that had meant. And then when she left, I ran outside the bar and I was like, no.
Gone forever.
Gone. Yeah.
You didn't get her number or Instagram or anything?
Nope.
She is gone in the wind.
Gone forever. So
it's usually how it goes with people though. Like,
dude, that's
if you don't get their info, you'll probably never see them ever again.
Unless you know who they are, because I have the tendency to
run into known people. Run into known people out.
Mostly exes and girls and so that's just apparently my talent. So
that is a crazy, unfortunate unlucky straw you've drawn.
I remember there was one time we came back to this house and Conrad actually goes, so who'd you run into last night? He didn't come out with us. Like he just asked that question. And sure enough, I told him, oh, it was this girl. Like, it's crazy that he didn't even have to come out with us just to know who did you run into last night. Like that's so weird. That's my glitch in the Matrix, man.
We've told countless stories about it through the episodes already.
Yeah.
And, not being in that situation, it's quite hilarious.
Yeah, for you guys.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure they're so sick and tired of me sitting there going, oh my God, that's so and so.
Well, I wonder how it feels on the other side for them.
Yeah.
It's probably the same situation.
Well, no, because some of them, I mean, the majority of them used to approach me.
They would still come talk to you?
Yeah.
I guess you never leave it on bad. You never leave it on bad terms.
No. See, that's the thing is I'm always like, I don't know.
Yeah, but usually when I'm done with like a girl or
a dick.
I agree. But when I'm done with like dating a girl,
when I'm done with a girl, that's so crazy.
When I'm done dating them or like, hanging out with them, I'm either bored or, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm moving on. My life's moving.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is.
Yeah.
I don't ever care to see them again.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I could care less.
Yeah.
And, I've been lucky. The lucky few that never runs into them. But I'm
not this guy.
You know what's crazy is I'm the guy right before they get married and have children. That's me.
That's an unfortunate streak.
That's
an unfortunate streak. Yeah, I think I'd rather have the
run into
them than be like,
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, I mean, I guess you could look at it in both ways.
I'm gonna look at it in a positive light. I'm gonna try to.
If negatively, you could look at it and be like, damn, like they got with me and then saw what they didn't want. So then they went.
But it's usually me breaking up with them. So is that really the case?
Damn, Loon, chill out. Move my damn mic.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know.
No, I think you can look at it positively. I think you can show if you're the one that breaks up with them or breaks it off with them, then it probably shows like, okay, they realize, okay, I want something.
Well, and you a chase is always so much more fun than just being handed on a platter.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think,
and when people do that and they wonder why you get bored or stop talking to them.
Well, yeah, it's just I would rather, I think, go on a date with a girl and then, at the end of that date, just go, oh man, like that, you kind of get those butterflies. You're like, I would
get the
like
butterflies and you didn't kiss her and you're like, I should have.
Yeah. You get that. Like,
or you're like, damn, maybe I will see her again.
Yeah. And then you kind of have that, oh man, okay. Like, this is good. I want to do this now.
And then a few days later, she hits you up.
Exactly.
And you're like, oh.
Or you hit her up. But like, regardless, like you're both eager to see each other again. That's a fun feeling. That's a great feeling.
I would agree. Yeah.
But the feeling of, because I've had both where you go do like everything on the first date, immediately after you're like, okay, so now what? You're like, I don't even know what your favorite food is. You're like, I had one date with you and then I've already like, I'm gonna say it, like, you've seen you naked.
Right.
I mean, I don't just like call us prudes, but damn, man, I think that's what's wrong with society, to be honest.
See, now I have been on that because I have had this girl where I was pretty infatuated with her. Yeah. And I didn't do anything. Like, we kissed, right? And that was it. Exactly, but I was like, yeah. She was something. But we kissed, we hung out like till the AM, and I never I didn't have sex with her at all. Just hang out, chatted, got to know each other. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, I'm so excited for this. This is gonna be pretty sick. Yeah. And little did I know that it would be a super big bummer later on down the road. But so waiting sometimes kind of sucks because it doesn't work out. Yeah. But also, I guess if it's the right person, then that chase and the wait is probably worth it. Yeah. And really fun.
Yeah. Okay. Now, is this a relationship podcast or is this a
fuck? I don't know. I don't even know how we got there.
No, we were talking about how, we have different things that we do.
Oh, we were going. We were
went on a this tangent.
We were like, this is what we do on St. Patty's Day, and then you started talking about the girl you met on St. Patty's Day. Then we were like, I
always meet these girls at bars, and then
spiral. Well,
but hey, that's a podcast, right? So,
look, We're getting back to it.
We'll get to the spooky stuff here in a second.
I don't know. I think it's kind of fun to talk about this, though.
No,
too.
I agree. I would agree. I think that, a special like this, I mean,
it's not,
if you guys don't think, I mean, it is a holiday as a celebration. And obviously we'll go into as you guys have heard from our other specials, we'll go into the meat and potatoes of the spooky shit. But we do want to also talk about how it is fun. I mean, not the, let me reword that. No, it's not. Like it's the holiday itself is like a fun time. It can be. I mean, look at how we're fucking dressed.
It's joyful. Yeah. It's a joyous time.
It's a fun time. But yeah, I guess the whole point of these specials is that we want to show you that there are dark sides to these holidays.
Dark sides, but also, we have a lighter side of us that's not just, our hardcore research about these horror topics too.
Exactly. Yeah, we do like to just talk. So
it
seems like you guys like it too. So I mean, hey, more power to you.
True. I mean, if you can establish like a nice connection to situations we've had, like that's awesome.
Yeah. And if you agree with what we're saying, go ahead and drop I was gonna go full on YouTube. Drop a like and a comment, and
I don't even care about the like. Just please comment.
Jake's trying to get that engagement up.
I want to talk to people. I don't want to just like post our stuff. And not have
if you guys want to call us dumbass hoes and stuff, I mean, go ahead.
I guess you can.
Yeah, it's just more engagement, so I really don't care.
Skink ass hoes.
Skank ass hoes.
No, we're just two dudes in a lawn chair.
Yeah.
So
that was I was totally expecting more comments like that. And
when that was
Bigfoot,
yeah, that was still so much hate on that movie or episode. Jeez.
So much is to Jake is like 2 comments, but yeah.
Well, regardless, who cares? We're moving on.
Anyway, yeah.
Let's get into this holiday.
Well, no. I want you to keep talking about because I kind of said, I just kind of go out and then,
I don't know. We throw parties. We do a bunch of stuff. We get together with friends and we just have a good time. We drink a couple drinks and
a couple brewskis.
Yeah, live the night like we're young and then have a major headache the next day.
Yeah. I will say a fun thing that we do here in Colorado that we've done the last couple of years now, I guess, is kegs and eggs.
Oh my gosh. I love kegs and eggs.
So if you don't know, in Colorado, there's especially like Denver area, there's a channel 93.3. It's a radio station.
I think there's a kegs and eggs in other places too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like for us here, we, our radio station 93.3, they're like alternative and stuff, which is like my shit. And so they put on a little concert thing, super chill. It's like these big bands come and play like this small venue. Like intimate ass venue.
So
it's not even like a venue. It's like a bar that they just throw a stage up. It's crazy.
And they come into the crowd.
Yeah. It's so wild. So anyway, this year Neon Trees is coming. So we're kind of excited about that.
And last year when we went, Mr. Wives performed.
I love you, Mandy Lee. I've seen you twice now in shows and both times I actively fell in love.
Literally the Ogden show was so good.
It was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I can't
shout out Mr. Wives. That band is just top tier, dude. Top tier.
Keep doing you. Mandy, I love you. Anyway.
So yeah, we go to Kegs and Eggs, and if you don't know, it's a concert in the morning.
Oh yeah.
It's at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. So you're getting green beer served to you at 7 a.m.
Jameson shots.
Yeah, you're walking out at 10 o'clock, probably pretty sloshed.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you're probably sober driving someone home.
No, it's a fun time.
Whatever your case is.
There's old people there. There's young people
all
there.
Ages, man.
It's really fun that everybody gets
stepping on your feet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Jake.
Oh, shout out that girl.
After the Mr. Wives show, this girl, she's in front of us. She's like jumping up and down. She obviously loved Mr. Wives. And she stepped on Jake's foot and he was like, I don't care. I'm going to marry you.
I was also wearing steel-toed boots, so it didn't hurt at all.
No, that was funny.
But she was a gorgeous human.
Yeah.
Gorgeous human. So if you're out there.
If you remember Jake.
Hit me up.
Anyway. Yeah. So
no, those are really fun things we like to do.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've never done a Mardi Gras. I think that would be kind of fun though.
Is Mardi Gras is its own thing though?
It is, but it's
St. Patrick's Day.
it's close enough to the.
Yeah,
I don't think it's around the same time.
Yeah, I don't think it's it has anything to do with St. Patrick's Day though. Isn't it isn't Mardi Gras? It's a French thing.
Yeah, but it's still a party in March. Close enough.
Well, we'll talk about why that's not close because we're going to talk about the origins of St. Patrick's Day. I thought that was a pretty good segue. All right. So St. Patrick's Day is often known for what we described earlier: green beer, green clothes, and shamrock decor, obviously, as you can see. But what is the holiday actually about? Well, let's dive into it a little bit. So in case you don't know, St. Patrick's Day is an Irish holiday that we here in the U.S. adopted. More on that later. But in Ireland, St. Patrick was actually born in Roman Britain in the 4th century and was brought to Ireland as a slave at the age of 16. He escaped and eventually returned to try and convert the Irish people to Christianity. He had quite the success as he eventually built a number of schools, monasteries, and churches. Legends of St. Patrick began to spread, the most famous being that he actually drove all of the snakes away from Ireland. He also used the shamrock as a way to explain the Holy Trinity, which is why it's considered lucky today. The Father, Son, Holy Spirit thing. So 3-leaf clover, right? Shamrock.
In the Catholic religion.
Yeah. So that was his whole thing. So he passed away on March 17th in the year of 461. Ireland came together to celebrate his life with feasts, parties, and religious services. So with this holiday being all about Ireland, how the hell did it become so big in the U.S.? Well, that's because there were actually a lot of Irish immigrants back in the day. They brought their celebration of St. Paddy's Day here and showed Americans that it is a day full of parties and good spirits. And areas with large numbers of these Irish immigrants began to hold parades. For example, Boston, a very Irish-heavy community, held the first ever St. Patrick's Day parade in 1737. So now we've talked a little bit about the origins. Let's dive into some spooky stuff. But first, what are your thoughts on that?
Understandable. I mean, I get it's cool that they brought their celebrations over to America.
Yeah.
I think that's really unique. And I'm happy that they did.
Me too.
Because I love celebrating. It's a fun time.
St. Patrick's Day is super fun.
Now it's definitely moved away from its origins, I would say, for sure.
Yeah, but so is like Christmas.
Yeah,
you could argue Christmas has definitely moved away from what it's
100%. It's definitely, in my eyes, not as religious as it used to be.
No, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
To be honest, I mean, I think that you can celebrate Christmas and however, but like even some of my Jewish friends, they celebrate Christmas.
Yeah,
they just celebrate a version of it.
Like we talked about the other day, it's just like it's a holiday.
Yeah,
it's just a holiday time.
Yeah,
that's all it is for everyone to celebrate.
Yeah,
family and friends. And all
you
that,
just get to be in like an area with. Well, you get to go back home, like to see your family, big food.
Yeah,
and
it's usually like it's vacation.
Yeah,
yeah,
nice
it's winter.
Time off, there's lights everywhere.
The music is fun.
Is so good. I'm not even like religious like that, and the music I love listening to it. When like freaking
the
Bing
covers
Crosby
are so
comes
good.
on and stuff.
So good.
Irish music, however, is also good. I don't listen to it a lot. Here,
I love listening to people play bagpipes, though.
Yeah. Well, I think that's Scotland. Scottish bagpipe.
Yeah, but it is Scottish, but they do play. They do have bagpipe playing during St. Patrick's Day.
I mean, it's true. Yeah, maybe I'm totally wrong, but I definitely thought that it was like the
think
Scottish
about it.
bagpipe.
At Kegs and Eggs, they had bagpipe players.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, let's be real. How many people can really tell the difference between Ireland and Scotland?
I mean, they're so similar.
I mean, here in the United States, they kind of just blend together.
They do. And no disrespect.
No disrespect at all.
It's just they do blend together, whereas, they are separate countries. They are different in their own way.
All right, let's dive a little bit into some spooky shit.
Yes, we shall.
We shall.
Another thing associated with St. Patrick's Day is the leprechaun. If you are unaware, a leprechaun is a supernatural being from Irish folklore. They are often short, wearing green jackets. They have red beards, and they guard pots of gold. Apparently, they are difficult to catch and have the power to curse people with magic. Now, obviously, here in America, when we think of a leprechaun, we think of Lucky Charms, probably. But us in the horror community also think of the horror franchise that kicked off in 1993 and starred Jennifer Aniston. The Leprechaun franchise has never really been taken seriously, and for obvious reasons. You could say the same for Child's Play, the Child's Play franchise, but the difference between Chucky and a leprechaun, well, to be honest, I don't know. I don't really like Child's Play and Chucky. I would just kick the little doll across the room. Regardless, the Leprechaun series is kind of bleh all around. But if you have a different opinion than us, let us know in the comments. Now, let's dive into some spooky stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. Child's Play is kind of mid as fuck.
It really is.
I'm not a fan of Chucky. I really think I would just punt the little bastard. Then again, I don't know. I think it plays on the people's fear of dolls, which I don't have.
I mean, okay, I do. Now,
but
the Chucky doll,
get you, though?
No. The Chucky doll, no. But the like stupid little porcelain dolls, the freaking eyes shut and
what about
closed?
like Annabelle?
She's kind of creepy.
I don't know though. I just think like dolls, they're just like, yeah, they can look creepy, but
I don't
also
know,
like
man.
I'll just punt the thing.
I just had bad
and
experiences.
And if it's porcelain, you could just like bash its
bad
head.
experiences with the dolls like that in my grandma's old house. And
no, I
it's
get,
just,
you
just
said that before.
Yeah, it's just
I get it.
Bad childhood memories that are linked to horrid memories.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's kind of like me with clowns, right? You know, but a clown is also like a legit person that could like hold a knife.
But it's like, I'm scarred from cats. Yes, you could literally manhandle a cat and kick it across the room, but doesn't mean they can't claw the shit out of you.
Is it weird that I feel like a cat would do more damage than a doll? The doll doesn't have like what do they call it? The ambidexterity or whatever. Like they just move like this. How the fuck are you going to fight me like this?
Yeah.
That shit ass.
Nah, the Chucky doll is not scary at all. The concept behind it was a cool horror idea at the time, but
yeah, back in the fucking 80s.
That was it. It was like, what can we do? Oh, let's put a soul in the doll.
Yeah. I mean, look, I know a lot of people disagree because a lot of people like the Child's Play movies, but I would just I think to me it's just not it, and I can have that opinion, just like you can have your opinion. So I'm just that's how it is. But no, more power to you. Also, if you like the Leprechaun movies, then also more power to you, because I mean that's pretty sick. I do remember
Isn't
watching
there like 6 of them, something like that.
There's 8.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's 8 of them, I believe. So, but they haven't made one in a long time,
right?
So
yeah,
I don't think
that franchise has kind of died.
I think you're right. I think they need a slasher or something like to do with St. Patrick's Day. I think that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about Irish mythical beings, because we usually talk about unsolved mysteries on our holiday specials, as I described earlier.
Yes.
But I thought it would be kind of fun to look at some of Ireland's mythical creatures. There's probably, beings that we are just unfamiliar with here in America. So I kind of figured, why not? Let's dive a little bit into another culture. If we're going to celebrate another culture, we might as well look at the kind of dark side. We have our own mythical, we got like Bigfoot and shit here, but I want to know what's Ireland cooking up over there, So let's find out.
Yeah. Let's jump right in.
Who's the first one, Jake?
Dullahan. So you've heard of the Headless Horseman, right?
Yes.
What do you think of that legend?
I think it's kind of cool. I do. I think the Headless Horseman's kind of sick.
I do too. You never seen Scooby-Doo in the Headless Horseman? Which pop up occasionally in the series. Yeah. I loved those episodes.
Yeah. The Sleepy Hollow.
Oh yeah, Sleepy Hollow was
good.
Reminded
of Sleepy Hollow. Yeah.
I think they made a TV show off of it as well.
It's probably ass. I mean, maybe
I didn't. Not, yeah, I don't know.
If you guys have seen it, let us know. But the movie is definitely the GOAT. So
would you be scared
if I saw the Headless Horseman? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. But I also would be like, whoa. It'd be kind of like seeing a tornado.
Yeah.
You look at a tornado and you go, like, damn, that thing is gonna like fucking mob me, but also I might never see this again in my lifetime. So like I might as well just watch it.
You saw that Elbert tornado, right?
I've seen 2 tornadoes in my lifetime that have threatened my house.
Dude, they're crazy.
They're wild, dude. They're wild.
Watching a cloud just form that funnel all the way down.
Oh, dude,
and it just like whipping, dude.
You get adrenaline, you get chills, you get this sense of like, oh my God, this is happening.
But you're like so intrigued and you're like watching it. But so you're also like, I might have to go take shelter.
Yeah. And so that's something that it's kind of, I mean, I can talk, maybe one day it'll come back up or whatever, a tornado story, but I got a couple, but, in the point of this though, it's like, if I saw the headless horseman, I would just look at him and be like, dude, this is kind of cool. I'm not gonna fuck with you, but you're like badass.
I'm going to leave you alone. Say,
but
hey.
like, keep it up, dude. You look cool as shit.
Well, in Ireland, they have their own headless horseman, except he seems a bit creepier than the one we are familiar with. Dullahan rides his phantom horse at night along the countryside. Instead of a pumpkin as his head is phosphorescent, which means that it glows. Yeah, just to clarify, he uses his human-like head as a lantern, which glows a ghostly green.
That's cool as fuck.
Spooky. That is pretty freaking cool.
It's cool as shit.
Just your light is your head?
Yeah, that's cool.
It is said that Dullahan roams the countryside seeking a home for the dying. In most legends, he acts as an omen. If you are to see him, odds are you won't make it a week. It is believed that he is only seen when he wants to be seen. But if you do happen to see him riding his phantom steed at night, you must look away. Otherwise, he will mark you with a bucket of blood, or even worse, he will make you blind in one eye.
Damn, so I can't even look at his ass.
You just have to turn away.
Oh, no. Damn, that would have been cool. I mean, it's not like it's real, but like, damn, I would have liked to just like, damn, there he goes. There goes Dullahan.
Yeah, that's interesting that
all of a sudden he just starts coming at you and you're like, oh my God, do I run? Do I?
You just stare out
to
the ground. Stare at the ground.
Trees.
Trees.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you think of Dullahan?
I think it's a cool legend.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's a nice spin on the headless horseman. I think the lantern head is so cool.
Yeah, I think that's better than the pumpkin, and I love pumpkins. But I just
like
think it looks
light on your head.
No, like it'd be like that would be your head.
Yeah, I know.
Like your face and stuff would just be like lighting like that.
Yeah,
crazy as hell.
It'd be like Slenderman head, just glowing.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. All right, we're gonna move on to the Banshee. You've probably heard of the Banshee, but do you know what a Banshee actually is? It's a question I'm actually asking you.
I don't.
Well, let's talk about it. So in Irish legend, fairies actually exist.
Okay.
Like they believe that fairies exist. So they're
just like magic fairies?
Well, they're known as small creatures that live in a parallel world, and they have human-like features, and they actually have the power to change humans' luck, whether that be for good or for bad.
Okay.
The funny thing is they actually are not often depicted as having wings, which I thought was a bit interesting, considering that if you think of a fairy, you probably think they have wings.
And I mean, all the little kids movies, they always give them wings to like represent that's how they fly.
Exactly.
Right?
Even when you see like little evil fairies in like, fantasy movies, like the darker fantasy movies, they all have wings.
Right.
So it's interesting. So you might be asking yourself, I thought we were talking about banshees. What the hell does a fairy have to do with that?
Well, I was thinking that, Cal. I was.
Well, to answer your question, a banshee is actually a fairy. A banshee is basically the good fairy's counterpart, depicted often as an old hag, but sometimes a beautiful woman. The banshee is actually known to work for Dullahan.
Interesting.
Yeah. Therefore, if you see a banshee, that means Dullahan may be nearby.
So stare at the ground.
Or the trees. Yeah. Now, you might have heard the phrase scream like a banshee.
Have, yes.
Yeah. That's because banshees are known for their ear-piercing and blood-curdling scream, which is a terrible omen. It is said that if you hear a banshee scream 3 times, someone will die. So watch out for those.
I think they used that myth in Teen Wolf.
Really? I haven't seen it, so I don't.
So in Teen Wolf, one of the friends becomes a banshee, and she always screams. I don't know if she ever does it in threes, but when she screams, like everything is known, and that means death.
Oh shit!
So it's cool that they brought that mythology in there.
Yeah, it is cool. All right, man.
Banshees are kind of sick. If you see them, though, put your head down.
If you see them, look at the trees, look at the ground, look at the just dirt. I don't know. If you hear one, I actually don't know. That's a good. What happens if you hear one? You just run the other way.
If it's far enough, you just, I'm going to turn around now.
Then you hear it like faintly, like the second one, and you go, nope, got to go further.
Yeah. All right. On to the next. The word she means that the being originates from the fairies' realm. This particular being is haunting, to say the least. Do you know when an artist or musician says they've found their muse? Well, Leonin is a beautiful woman that acts as a creative mind's muse. The legend says that she helps inspire some of the most beautiful art pieces ever to be created. However, while doing this, she slowly drains the life force of her victims. They end up dying young, but creating an everlasting legacy. That one to me is quite interesting because of the, what's it called? The 27 Club. It's like artists who have died at 27. It's creepy that it seems to be a reoccurring thing throughout history. Maybe it's because of fame that we notice when these people pass away too early. I'm not sure, but it's definitely an interesting thought.
Yeah, it is. That's kind of like it's a myth for the 27 Club, right? Isn't that is what they call it?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I'm going to be there in like a couple months.
Well, I already passed it, so.
Yeah, you're fine.
We're not famous yet, though.
Chill out, Loon.
You just hear the little collar scratching.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting one for sure. I was just thinking when you said muse, I was just thinking about "Let me be your muse." That's a Mr. Wives song.
Yes, it is.
A really good song. So,
all right.
Hi, Luna.
Now that we have talked about some spooky legends,
hey, go sit down.
I wanted to take a look at one St. Patrick's Day murder case. Most of the things I could find were all related to people getting too drunk and starting fights that took a bad turn.
Yes.
But this story was something that chilled me. It's not the worst we've heard on this podcast, but it's far from tame. While it is a sad story, it shows us to always be aware of your surroundings. Once again, always keeping that head on a swivel.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do here on the Supernaturals is that we always like to keep our heads on swivels. And I hope that you guys all do that too. Because the more you do that, the more of a chance you're going to live.
Probably.
I was trying to think of something like that sounded like cool, but that didn't. It sounded more creepy. So, all right. Everybody, this is the time of the episode when we get sad. We get depressing and we get more sad.
Yeah.
So everybody lock in.
Lock your answers in right now.
Everybody pop open those drinks because this is sad as hell. And it's a bummer. It's a doozy for sure. But it is also a very good learning curve. Well, a learning experience for, well, be on the lookout for each other this St. Patrick's Day. You know? Don't leave anybody by themselves. Don't do anything like that. You know, have a good DD if you're going out. Make sure you don't drink too much. We'll obviously dive more into this at the end, but for starters, let's begin. I'm going to finish my beer. All right. Rachel Hurley. March 17th, 1990. 14-year-old Rachel Hurley and her friends decided to spend the day on the lake in Juniper, Florida. Rachel stood on the boat and sang Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses at the top of her lungs. She smiled, laughed, and enjoyed a nice day in the sun. However, the time was approaching when she was supposed to meet her mom in the parking lot. The designated time was 3 p.m., and at 2:45, Rachel started getting nervous about being late to meet her mom. The boat docked at Dubois Park, and Rachel and her friends, Maddie and Aaron, started their trek back to the parking lot. On the way back, Maddie and Aaron decided to stop at the restroom. But Rachel, already fearing she was going to be late for the rendezvous, decided to skip the bathroom, and she took off down the path towards the parking lot. The path was about a mile away, and Andrea, Rachel's mom, sat in her car, waiting. After 3 p.m. came and went, she feared she made a mistake and thought she was at the wrong parking lot. She wondered if Rachel maybe went home with Maddie and Aaron, so she decided to head back home. But when she got there was no sign of Rachel. Andrea sprung into action. She called the police, the parents of the friends, and everyone returned to the surrounding lake and searched. Palm Beach Sheriff's Office dispatched 100 deputies, 2 boats, 1 helicopter, and 3 canine units. That's a lot.
Sure is.
One of Rachel's friends, Sherry Duff, was at the lake with her that day. She remembered hearing that Rachel was missing, and she said it was utter chaos until her mom told her to come home and wait for any news. She did just that, until something happened. This is Sherry's quote. "We got the call that they found Rachel. They found her body. That moment still gives me chills. It's a moment I won't ever forget." End quote. Unfortunately, the Palm Beach officers found Rachel declothed around 8:15 p.m. in a wooded area nearby. Some of her clothes were also found nearby. Sherry said she believes Rachel might have taken a shortcut through the forested area. Apparently, it grew quite windy on the water, so the wind could have blown right into her, stinging her bare legs. So Sherry believes she tried to go through the wooded area to shield herself from that. But unfortunately, somebody was waiting in those woods. The Palm Beach Sheriff's Office had confirmed that Rachel had been raped and strangled to death. She had a number of defensive wounds on her, and her friends and family all believed that Rachel would absolutely not have gone down without a fight. Officers spent the next few days questioning over 50 homeless men in the surrounding area, but to no avail. A number of suspects have come and went, but no arrests have been made. There were certain suspects that knew Rachel and have actually gone to jail for other crimes. But DNA testing on 127 men have never found a match. Unfortunately, there have been no more suspects, and Rachel's case has remained open for over 30 years. But there is a strange portion of this story. Sherry recalled Rachel and her friends playing with the Ouija board a few weeks before that. Believe that they are real or fake, what comes next is definitely weird. Sherry said they asked the board which one of them was going to be the first to die. The arrow spelled out Rachel's name. Rachel, being the sassy one of the group, shouted, "Then do it, bitch." Sherry said this, quote, "We all laughed and played along, but when we asked for a sign, the fire alarm in the house went off. It was just weird. Not long after that, she was gone." End quote. And to this day, Rachel's case is open. If you know anything about it or have a lead on who could have done that, Crime Stoppers is offering $15,000 for anyone who has this evidence that leads to the killer's arrest. We here at the Supernaturals hope that Rachel and her friends and family can get the closure that they need one day.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
All these signs too.
So that's something that we're definitely going to talk about, in season 2. We actually have a few things. There's quite a few stories. I feel like it's kind of the underlying theme.
It does seem that way. It does seem that way.
There's a lot of stories where the universe seems to be telling people certain things, and it's just weird. It makes you think kind of like, where do we come from in a way?
Right. Yep.
And so this isn't the only case that we discuss in season 2. We discuss a bunch of different things about, conspiracy theories, glitches in the Matrix or whatever, the Mandela effect, all that stuff. And there's a couple cases where people have had bad dreams, and, their dreams and these weird coincidences, they just don't feel like something that really happened. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And so we want to really talk about that and kind of dive into the more spiritual mystical side of things, I would say.
Right. Yeah. Dreams, signs, and all of the above, you know. It's and they're all seem to point in worse directions than ever good.
Yeah.
You know,
I would agree.
You're not getting told that this sign is good for you.
Yeah.
It's always just something that people are never expecting.
It's a weird thing for sure. So, I mean, hopefully you guys are into that because it is pretty damn interesting. So,
oh, it is.
Season 2 is
buckle up.
Yeah, season 2 is going to be fun. So, while that story is heartbreaking, please look out for your loved ones this St. Patrick's Day. Be aware of who and what is around you. Don't get too drunk to where you can't control yourself. And if you do, be sure that you're surrounded by people you trust. If you happen to hear 3 screams or see a man riding on a horse nearby with his head as a lantern, it's probably just best to stay at home. So
probably.
Do you have any more to say?
Yeah, no, just stay safe. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And always be in a safe environment.
Yeah.
Never, if you're uncomfortable, don't drink. Don't do other substances. Don't do anything that you're not comfortable with in that environment. That's it.
Yep.
You just, and keep your head on a swivel, like always.
Keep your head on a swivel. And from us here at the Supernaturals, we want to wish you guys a happy St. Patrick's Day.
That we do.
We'll see you guys back here in about a month for season 2.
Season 2,
as
baby.
We started up. That is going to be 30 weeks of content. 30 weeks of pure Supernaturals, baby.
So get ready because episodes are releasing once again every week.
Yep. So this is going to be a fat season. We're really excited for it. And
we've been busting our ass.
that we have. But yes, again, from Jake and I, thank you all for listening. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Enjoy your day. But also keep that damn head on a swivel.
Always.
Always. And we'll see you guys around the graveyard.
Thanks for listening to this chilling episode of The Supernaturals. For your protection, make sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And stay tuned for the next episode.